If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century.
I mean, it's what this is all about, right? So we've realized that for far too long that illegal immigration, and in the same way that H-1Bs and H-2Bs are basically corporate welfare, that illegal immigration is also a form of corporate welfare for small businesses, for medium businesses, even some large businesses, because they know who they're hiring and they don't care because they're able to do that at the expense of government workers. And yes, you know what? Maybe I'll have to pay 10% more. I don't care. Maybe I'll have to pay 15% more. Maybe I won't be able to get all the avocados and the what was it, the flowers in Colombia. They say, oh, the flowers, all your flowers come from Colombia. I was like, we can't grow flowers in America? Like, what do you mean? This is ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. Why do we have to get those things from other countries to begin with?
Yeah, I mean, I just found out on Twitter like yesterday that actually California was where something like 50 or 60% of all the cut flowers are grown in this country. All your Valentine's Day roses, everything. And apparently up near Monterey in sort of central California, which is the most beautiful part of California, and it's lush farmland, there are these abandoned flower farms where we used to grow all of these things ourselves. I've been like totally lied to. My whole life is a lie. I thought these things were just all being grown in Colombia and shipped overnight, and that's why we were paying so much money. I mean, it feels like it would be a lot cheaper to grow them here and pay American workers a tiny bit more rather than have like giant airplanes full of flowers coming in. Like it seems a lot of more environmentally friendly, in fact, to grow them here. And so I think we need to bring back the California flower farms immediately.
It's really as simple. And, I noticed this because I do this thing with Tanya Tay where I always call it random flowers, where I will go out and a lot of guys say like, oh, if you get in a fight, buy flowers. No, I don't do that. No, I don't do that because we never get in fights, of course. But no, I say I just get your girl random flowers for no reason at all because it's just a great move. And it keeps them on their toes, right? Because they'll think like, wait a minute, did he do something that he's trying to cover up for? There's something I don't know about, and it just keeps them confused, which is a good way you want to keep your woman. And but no, I'll do that, and I've noticed since doing that it'll say product of Colombia, product of Honduras, or whatever it is on the flowers, and I'm like, really? Like, do we really need to go that far to be able to get some flowers? Is it that important? I really don't think so. I would much rather be able to say, you know what, I got some flowers. They were grown here in this country. They were grown, and by the way, people love Whole Foods. They love farmers markets. This is basically the same exact thing as that.
Right. Yeah, homegrown. I mean, California has these massive avocado orchards, and they were saying, you're not going to have guacamole. Aren't you going to miss your guacamole? And Anna Navarre, whatever her name is, and AOC worried about Valentine's Day. Trump is going to ruin Valentine's Day. No more coffee and no more roses. And I mean, okay, let's say there isn't anymore. Like that seems like a small price to pay to reclaim our own economy and stop outsourcing it to half the rest of the world. My son's place of business, the hardware store in Altadena, burned down. So he needs a job. He's a 17-year-old kid. He loved having a job, loved making money. He has no job right now. I'm actually happy if he has a little less competition, if he wants to go be like a bag boy at the supermarket now. Like, why is this bad? Teenagers can't find jobs in the summer now because the illegals take all the like low-paid menial jobs. I hope this summer teenage Americans can actually have like their choice of like fun summer jobs. I mean, that would be an incredible benefit. Kids need to like work.
Well, and it gets into the great Panda Express debate that was raging last week, where people were saying, oh, there's lots of jobs in this country, go work at Panda Express. And it's like, okay, like I'm not going to say, like, if you want to be a franchisee, go ahead and do that. I don't think that's a great business model. Some people love it, but it's like, look, you get just locked into that store. If the store literally becomes your entire life. But at the same time, for a teenager, for like a 14-year-old or something, oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Go do that for a
right.
couple summers. Do that for a couple years. Learn how to manage your
Yeah.
time. Learn how to manage your effort. And by the way, get actual money in your pocket. I'm not just going to be handing stuff out to my kids. Everybody should have to have that rite of passage of having just one of those menial jobs. And by the way, this is something where psychologists have gone
Yeah.
into it. Eric Hoffer, the great writer of True Believer, actually says that for people who don't go through one of these meaningful rites of passage, like people who grew up either too affluent or just spoiled from their parents in general, who don't go through that rite of passage, they actually get really, really screwed up as they get older.
Yeah, teenage. I mean, I at 14, I was like working fast food. I worked at little stores. Like that was just what you did in the summertime or like after
Peachy, did
school.
you
Like
work at McDonald's? Did you work at
I did not.
McDonald's?
I did not work at McDonald's. Okay, that was like I couldn't go that far. I worked at like
Is
the
that what you're saying right now?
neighborhood.
Because we will check. We will check.
I never put on the Golden Arches outfit. I swear, I did not. But we all did it. There was no shame in your game. It was just like, hey, I got all this money. I don't care, and I'll get like free food too. It's great. And I worked at the frozen yogurt store. You know, I did all these jobs, and kids need to do that now. But now it's so rare to see a teenage worker at any store in the summer, any fast food. It's almost you see like a 35-year-old Hispanic lady, you know, or that's who's working these jobs. But like I said, these kids need to have summer jobs. They need to like kind of, you know, put the TikTok away for a few hours and like learn what it is like to punch in and do all of that. And like I said, my son loved his job. He was like working the hardware store and like showing people where the like different, you know, tools were. And he was learning so much. And all his employees now are actually unemployed. So these hardware store guys, they need jobs. Oh, my whole town burned down. And so these people, Americans of every race, Americans need jobs, and it actually gives me hope that maybe there'll be a little less competition.
No, I think it's exactly right because at the end of the day, it is creating perverse incentives. It is welfare for the ownership class in America. That's what these systems are. That's what illegal immigration has always been. That's H-1B, that's H-2B. It is welfare for them. And if we start framing it that way, that this is welfare for you, which is at the detriment of the American worker, now suddenly people are like, oh, wait a minute, is this is that free market? Is a welfare program for corporations free market? Is that part of the free market system, libertarians? Is that part of Friedrich Hayek and Milton Friedman? Is that something that they were for? No, of course not. It is theft. It is a form of theft. It's theft from you. It's theft from your neighbors. It's theft from your neighbors' kids and everyone else. And you know what? What it hurts is it hurts communities the same way, by the way, that maybe not as drastically, but it hurts them just like your community being burnt down.
Yeah, and one thing I need to get Tom Homan on are the Chinese safe houses in Orange County filled with Chinese nationals who are giving birth to anchor babies. And they come here, they fly here pregnant, they have the baby, they live in a house of like 20, 30 women, they have their anchor babies. And this is happening all over Orange County. There are houses filled with these women. And I don't know why they get sanctuary. Why is this allowed? And I'm hoping there'll be some raids on there. I'm hoping for a cop style show called ICE. I'm actually pitching this where we can just, cameras can ride along as they bust the pedophiles and the rapists and the predators and kick them out of the country. That would be must-see TV for me in my house.